In this video, I'm going to take you through a full day of eating 2,000 calories, which for me is a calorie deficit that allows me to lose between 1 and 1.5 pounds per week. I'm 5'7", about 152 pounds right now, and nearly 49 years young, less than 2 weeks away. So as always, started my day with 2 cups of coffee, a little bit of unsweetened vanilla cashew milk in there, got some work done, brought Chief out for our walk. Now it's time for my typical morning breakfast shake. 1 cup of homemade kefir, 1 cup of unsweetened vanilla cashew milk, an assload of spinach, a banana, and a scoop of protein powder. Looking at about 440 calories here. Now, interesting thing, about 6 months ago, Silk had a recall on their cashew milks and almond milks, and instead of looking for another brand of cashew milk, I'm like, this is a great opportunity to try the Fairlife chocolate milk, which has like, I think 14 grams of protein in there. Been hearing great things about it. Wanted to use it to make some high protein ice cream in my Ninja Creamy back there. And the thing is, it's 150 calories. So compared to 25 calories in a cup of the cashew milk, 150 calories, plus I was putting that in my coffee in the morning. So looking at like anywhere between 150 and 200 extra calories just from my morning coffee and the breakfast shake there, which I could easily have made up for and other things throughout the day, but I wasn't really thinking about it. But the thing that got me is like, it's so freaking delicious. So throughout the day, I would just grab the bottle and just start chugging it. Like, I basically drink a cup right out of the bottle there whenever I was hungry or thirsty, and justifying it by saying, you know what, there's 150, it's 14 grams of protein in there. So I kept thinking of it, this is a great little high protein snack here, not really thinking of how those calories were adding up at the end of the day. I was easily consuming probably 500 extra calories a day just from that chocolate milk, because I just couldn't resist myself. Every time I'd see it in the fridge, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna have this drink. And it's liquid calories. So it's like not like it's filling me up. You're not thinking of it. It's just those mindless little snacks, those mindless little nibbles, those mindless little sips that add up at the end of the day. Next thing you know, I'm noticing my weight creeping up. Had to do a little damage control, a little mini cut here. Just got out of a kick-ass hot yoga class, I would say. If it's not the toughest class of the week, it's the second toughest class for sure. Lots of inversions, so handstands, forearm stands, crows, and a mix of some other calisthenic type stuff as well. Lots of Cossack lunges in there, push-ups, pike push-ups, handstand push-ups. So a variety of practices that really challenge our bodies in really basically every way possible. Now I'm going to enjoy my second meal of the day. I've got an egg salad sandwich on sourdough bread here. Was a little short on time, didn't give myself enough time to make this meal here. I would have loved to put some like celery in here, a little bit of spinach on top, but just threw the eggs together. Just 1 tablespoon of some mayonnaise, some ground black pepper on there, a little bit of pink Himalayan sea salt in there for some flavoring. Sourdough, I'm actually going to take a class next month, learn how to make my own sourdough. I freaking love it. Good for our gut health as well. So fermented foods, kefir is a fermented food that's good for gut health as well. I love sourdough. Last week I got one that had some like jalapeno and cheddar in it. The thing with it, again, one of these things like the Fairlife chocolate milk, I gotta be very careful. I usually only get like a small loaf or a half a loaf at a time, because I just can't control myself. I just love it so much. It's very easy for me to grab at, to pick at, and to eat mindlessly, I guess you could say. So I really try to limit what I have in the house, and then very mindful when I go to eat it. Am I doing it mindfully, or am I eating it just because it's there? I'm not quite hungry, but I love it so much, it's tasty, and am I justifying it by saying, oh well, it's good for my gut health? So foods like that, I'm very, very aware of my triggers and the foods that I can easily overeat. For some people, it's sugar. I've been hearing that in conversations a lot lately, people with like quote unquote sugar addictions and stuff like that, which I think a lot of it comes down to our mindfulness and taking that time to ask ourselves, is this something that I really need right now, that I really want right now? Am I hungry? what can I do instead if it's something that I don't need. Right now, I really need to eat this sandwich and refuel after yoga. Just got back from an absolutely gorgeous and invigorating 5-kilometer jog, feeling on top of the world. This is one of the best things about making that decision to reduce my weight training to just 3 days per week. It allows me to really focus on improving my overall health, my overall well-being, incorporating cardio, yoga, so improving my mobility, my flexibility, my functional strength, for lack of a better word there, more time to do some self-massage, just take care of myself so I can absolutely live my life to the fullest and thrive in all aspects of my life. So right now I've got 260 grams of coconut Greek yogurt along with 140 grams of frozen mixed berries that I'm going to enjoy right now. And Chief will finish off by cleaning the bowl for me. It is dinner time, and it's hard to believe this is my first time making stuffed peppers. And the recipe I followed had me fry up some garlic, onion, just a little leftovers from the tops of the peppers here in some olive oil. And once that was nice and softened and browned up a little bit, I added in some ground turkey, just like 450 grams there. Let that cook and brown in there, and then I added some fire roasted diced up tomatoes, delicious flavor. I just had a little taste tested from the can there, along with a cup of cooked basmati rice. So not a cup of dry basmati rice. I cooked that first and then added it in there. In addition to just a little bit of some shredded cheese, mixed that all in there and then added it into the peppers and cooked it in the oven 425 degrees for about 20 minutes there. Topped it with a little bit more cheese on top. I will break down the macros, the calories, everything from each and every meal, as well as the end of the day as I hit this 2,000 calorie target. So let's wrap things up with a breakdown of the calorie intake for each meal. Meal number 1 was the breakfast shake, which was right around 440, maybe 450 calories. Meal number 2 was the egg salad sandwich on sourdough bread, which was right around 570 calories. Meal number 3 was the coconut Greek yogurt with frozen mixed berries, which was right around 310 calories. And then dinner, the stuffed peppers, was right around 680 calories for the 2 stuffed peppers that I have. Always an estimation whenever I'm preparing a larger meal, we're going to have leftovers the next day. Very similar as to if I'm preparing dinner for my kids. Making a larger portion size, kind of seeing that, all right, all the ingredients that I incorporated into the filling. I've got 5 peppers that I'm dividing it among. So just taking my best educated guess. But tracking calories in general is just an estimation. I don't take it as gospel. There's lots of room for error there. So I'm right around 2,000 calories, 2,008 calories for the day. Again, just an estimation. Honestly, if I didn't track calories today, that's exactly what I would have eaten, and that's would have been pretty much spot on with my intake that I'm striving for. I feel very satiated. I actually feel like I'm not in a calorie deficit right now, mainly because peppers are pretty high in volume. Just all the meals I had were very satiating to me personally, being around 5'7", 152 pounds, 49 years young. Like this is fantastic for just kind of starting a little mini cut here to kind of shed some of the excess fat that I gained from mainly that Fairlife chocolate milk that I just couldn't control myself with there. Macros at the end of the day, I get my target, like even if I'm not trying, I never try to hit a specific macro target for the day. I just always end up around 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat. This happened to be just a little bit lower in carbs, I think 38%, a little bit lower in protein, 28%, a little bit higher in fat, around 34%. Again, it's just kind of estimation. Whenever you're cooking with olive oil, you never know like how much of it actually gets absorbed into the food there. So again, just taking my best educated guess with the calories, with the macros, but this is kind of the macro ratio that suits me best. It's a very balanced approach, and again, very satiating to me personally. Now, I hardly ever track calories anymore, but I like to do it whenever I record a video like this and kind of giving you guys an example of what like a 2,000 calorie day may look like. Again, like I said, this is my first time making stuffed peppers. I'm trying to make different recipes. I'm trying to incorporate a little bit more variety into my nutrition while still keeping some structure in place as well, because that makes it super effortless and mindless when it comes to tracking your calorie intake. Basically, it allows you to easily wean yourself off the calorie tracking, become more intuitive when you're paying attention to your satiety cues, the portion sizes of the meals that you're preparing, and having a pretty good idea of how many calories are typically in some of the portion sizes that you consume. So hope you found value in this video. If you did, please do me a favor and drop a comment down below.